parting words for our viewers about tonight or about anything?
Yes, I just love the fact that you have this show, another platform to just get positive things out there. You're doing it, so I know it's
thank you,
positive.
Angela.
That we met because of the positive
That's
things
right.
that you're doing.
Yep.
Paying it forward. He mentors
Yes.
children. I love that about you.
Thank you.
So my parting words are just keep supporting Walter Kirkland.
Did you hear that?
Keep on your gaddy.
And Gloria, why is it a magical moment?
Because we worked so hard to get here.
This guy's about to make history. You know why? What I mean? He's about to bring the minor football league into the Washington, D.C. area.
Tell them about your business and what you do.
Oh, so basically I'm a network consultant for graphic consulting. I'm the president and the owner. Also the owner for the new football club.
Yeah, Alfred, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well.
Man, bless you, brother. Thank you. Alfred with the purple line.
About legacy wealth.
Yes.
Building legacy wealth for ourselves, our families, and our children, our progeny.
Hi, Walt Kirkland here with another edition of Kirkland's Corner. I hope you had a great 4th of July. I did, but we have a special show. We have 2 guests this week. We have Dr. Veda Johnson, interesting stuff, and Mr. Carlos Lancaster of Exit Right Realty. So don't go anywhere. Come right back to Kirkland's Corner. You're going to have a good time this week.
Good night, stars. Good night, air. Good night, noises everywhere. Time to say good night.
All right, we're back on Kirkland's Corner again. We appreciate you every single week. We try to bring the heat and bring really good guests to the show. But this week, Dr. Veda Johnson, how are you, man?
I am doing well, thank you.
You're the owner of the Natural Wellness Center?
I am All Things Natural Wellness Center.
And define what a naturopathic doctor means, because that jacket looks pretty official.
Well, I'm glad it looks official.
It does.
And we are official. We are trained 4 years medical school.
Well, like a doctor,
Like a regular doctor. We sit for medical boards. We pass those boards and then we get licensed. So I'm licensed here in the state of Maryland under the Maryland Board of Physicians.
Outstanding. And how did you get into this? I mean, I'm just curious. What made you, because I know we talked about this in the green room. So tell the viewers, how did you get into this business?
Well,
it's fascinating.
Going the traditional route of the allopathic way, the traditional doc, MD, and I was challenged to do a report on naturopathic medicine. And I did this report, never heard of it before, and I said, oh my God, this is the type of medicine I want to do.
This is what I want to do.
This is what I want to do. I have the best of both worlds. I can do medicine, but also bring in the natural component to it.
Outstanding. And what type of patients do you see on a daily basis? Do you see elderly? Do you see a mix, male, female? What's the breakdown?
So I see from infants all the way. My oldest patient is about 102.
102?
102.
Did you guys hear that? Wow.
Everyone in between. And I see from an earache to cancer.
You know, we had talked about, and this to me, it's fascinating about vitamins. What's your take on, because there's some doctors that advocate you don't need vitamins, just eat green, leafy vegetables, etc. What's your take on vitamins in supplements?
They have their place. When you're taking a supplement, that is because you're deficient in something.
I see.
And yes, sometimes people make blanket statements, but for instance, if someone is anemic and they are iron deficient anemia, they have an iron deficiency that and it's an anemia, then they have to take iron, which is a supplement, correct? Or if you have a vitamin D deficiency.
Which I do, by the way.
And doctors prescribe vitamin D all the time, correct? So the saying of, you don't need it, it's not necessarily true. We do need it, and that's why we eat the foods that we eat to get those nutrients in order for our bodies.
So you advocate in your Natural Wellness Center Tell the viewers what you do there. So you supplement. What else do you do at your wellness center?
So we're trained in many different modalities. Okay, so yes, we do the diagnostic testing, routine labs that you do. You might have to send out for imaging, depending on what the person is coming in for. But let's say they have hypertension.
Good example.
Okay. We do the proper workup on that patient. I'll do maybe a micronutrient test to see what nutrients that they are deficient in, so I don't have to guess. And if I'm going to ask the body to do something, I want to make sure they have the raw materials to do it with. And if they don't have the raw materials to do it with, then I'm not getting to the root of the problem, right?
When would someone see you? Because I never heard of this title before. We were talking in the green room. Why would someone come see you? Because normally you just go to your general physician. When will we see you? When do we get you involved?
Many people want to approach their conditions from a natural point of view.
Yes.
And so they're on their medications, and sometimes patients come in and say, oh, I don't want to take medications anymore. Well, I don't stop their medication, but we'll see and we explore that avenue as to how we can help that process. So let's use a different condition, prediabetes or diabetes type 2.
Pretty common.
All right. So I'll deal with of course, the nutritional part of it, but we have to make sure that there's certain minerals and things that are in place. And let's say someone is deficient in chromium, and which helps regulate blood sugars. And perhaps they need more chromium in their diet or supplementations or other nutrients, or let's say vitamin D that plays a part in that as well. So I give them what they need, and I just don't use just those type of supplements. I might use botanical medicines, which we call herbs.
So walk the viewers through, when you get a new patient, what do you do? You sit them down, what do you do? There's a consultation, there's a plan, what do you do?
So before they come in, they fill out an intake form before they get to me. So by the time they get to me, I already have a view of who they are and what questions I want to formulate with them. So the first visit, it can be from an hour to an hour and a half.
Oh, wow.
That's my fact-finding visit.
Okay.
I don't treat on that first visit unless there's an acute situation, meaning that, they're
Give an
in
example.
pain.
What's an acute pain or
Pain
high blood pressure or something?
Something like that, right.
Okay.
Outside of that, I gather all the fact information that I need from them. I give them some homework to do. I have some homework to do as well. They come back the second visit, and that is the treatment visit. By that time, all the blood work has been done. Anything else that I need, any records that need to be obtained, I can have, because usually many patients come to me, they've gone to many different types of specialists, and they haven't seen a result. So they're coming to me to bring about a result. So my goal is to get to the root of the problem, move out any obstacles that can be a problem to the cure for that patient, or to getting that patient to optimal health and moving them along.
Now, why is it with men specifically, we're doing a prostate screening on Saturday, I was talking to you earlier with our church. Why is it men, for some reason, are afraid to go to the doctor? I mean, you know, prostate cancer is the #1 cancer, as you know, in men. And why is that you think African-American men are just so afraid to get checked and know their numbers, you being a doctor?
I think it has a lot to do with our culture, and they're taught to just provide, or just, you know, focus. I'll take care of me later. Oh, I don't want to have specific type of screenings, the digital screening that comes with it.
Which is a physical exam.
Right. And and so they just put it off. And it's kind of within our culture, not all, but it is prevalent.
To tell the viewers, which, you know, I've been in the medical field, not like yourself as a doctor, but in the industry, cancer is something that's in our body. Explain the cancer process, because we're always trying to, the body is what is warding that off, correct, on a daily basis.
That's
Can you explain to the viewers, this is real important, because I think we're all going to get a form of cancer, correct, before we die? Isn't it a form that will form in your body?
So your immune system is always checking all kinds of things out and taking it down.
Automatically?
So, automatically. Okay. So it could be a virus, it could be bacteria, whatever, and including cancer, it will check it out. So that's why it's so important to eat correctly, to exercise so that your body can pump the blood and, you know, have the lymphatic system move and clear out the blood and detoxify the system correctly. And so cancer in and of itself is always prevalent around us, but we can turn those genes on and off by what we eat, by being sedentary, by not having the proper nutrition that we need to have. It could be smoking, it could be anything that can turn those genes on, and we have to the best of our ability, do the opposite things to turn those genes off.
Now, I've heard you talking in the green room to one of your good friends that there's certain foods or candies or that it might create cancer to grow. Is that true? Is that just conjecture?
No, it's not conjecture.
Really?
We really do have to, we really are what we eat. So we really do have to watch what we eat. And so eating a diet full of sugar, and sometimes people think sugar is just candies and things like that. But sugar can be pasta because it's a carbohydrate, so it turns to sugar.
Never looked into it that way.
Right.
Wow.
You can have rice. Now, I'm not saying stop eating rice or anything like that, but all these things that people can have more of a carbohydrate type of diet, and it's constantly turning to sugar. And that is something that is not necessarily good for the body, and it causes inflammation in the body. Cancer loves those type of things as well. So there's many different components to cancer, not just one thing.
I see.
But we have to really work to the best of our ability to take care of our bodies, to eat properly, to get the proper rest, to drink your water, yes, water, and exercise, etc.
There's so many things I want to ask you. Let's just take the immune system. Let's just take the large intestines, small intestines. I understand that clinically you have a lot of waste in your large intestines. This is why bowel movements, which we don't want to talk about that either, but think about.
I talk about it every day.
Yeah, but, you know, and we got to talk about this. This is important because, you know, there are some people that don't have bowel movements for a week or 2 weeks. Okay? Think about that.
Right.
So I'm not a medical profession, but if you don't get those toxins out of your body, it can turn into plaque, correct?
Right, and we have to make sure, okay, so why are they not, the patient or the person, not having bowel movements? That's not normal, but for some people they think it's normal.
They think it's normal.
Right, so when they come in and they have constipation, that's what we call it, we have to make sure that there's nothing major going on, but at the same time, often what I find, it's diet related, most time, as to why they're not going, unless they have some other type of condition like IBS, which is irritable bowel syndrome, that they can have. So depending on what the diagnosis is, will be how I would treat that patient.
And let's just, because there's so many things I want to ask you, let's go to men over 50.
Okay.
Testosterone.
Right.
A very sensitive topic for men over 50. I'm over 50, but knock on wood, everything is still working.
That's right.
Guess what happens, as you know, you lose 50%.
It goes down.
What do you suggest with that? I mean, there's all kinds of stuff you can take. There's pills and stuff. What do you suggest with that? I mean, is that blood flow? I mean, there's so many questions here.
So that's a kind of tricky question.
I know it is. That's why I said it.
So, yeah. And so what I would do, it depends on why. Sometimes, let's say they have erectile dysfunction.
Yes.
It might not be that they have low testosterone. It could be that they have a lot of stress in their life. We have to make
correlation with stress.
That's correct. And is there something that I have to send them out to a specialist to check out? So there's many different reasons why, and so that's my job to get to the bottom of the why.
And your due diligence.
And my due diligence. And once I get to the bottom, let's say they do need testosterone. So I would send them to their primary care physician to be able to meet that need for them.
Wow, and I hear there's other ramifications of blood flow that affects men in terms of, you know, women have change of lives, I guess.
That's correct.
So let's just kind of flip it around to a woman's situation. So she's more prevalent to have breast cancer. Is that the more common disease for women?
That's one of the common diseases that they can have, or cancer for breasts would be.
And is that 100% curable if you get it before stage 4 or stage 3?
It can be, absolutely.
Yeah.
And even at stage 4, there's people and women
Mastectomies?
that's correct, who reach cure state.
See, the problem we have, I think, especially in the men's group, is that men don't get checked on time or regularly, and by the time they get to it, I've had so many friends die of prostate cancer or colon cancer. Let's talk about colonoscopies.
Okay.
Do you do that at your facility?
No, I don't personally do that. I send them out to
And
the
tell the viewers what a colonoscopy is.
So colonoscopy is when they are looking into the colon. First, you have to do this prep.
You drink this nasty stuff.
Nasty stuff.
I've done it a few times.
I ate
and
it
you want to
myself.
throw up.
Yes, that's it. That's
but
it.
You're cleaning out
But you're cleaning out your colon because they need a clean specimen, so to speak, to be able to go through with the camera.
What age should they start?
50, unless that they have
Family history.
family history of it.
What about women? What about women?
Same thing, unless they have a family history of it. You start earlier, and they go in with a camera. They're looking for polyps. They're looking for anything else that they may see there. Hemorrhoids. It could be numerous amount of things that they can find in there, and based on that, whatever the outcome is, then we treat accordingly if there need to be treatment.
Tell the viewers about the ages. For example, I know for a fact for men, after 50, is it every 5 years or every 10 years?
So it depends on if they find polyps and how many they found,
I see.
and was it malignant and what have you. So usually it's age 50 and above, and every 5 years usually, if they find polyps. And if not, if everything is clear, they might clear you for 10 years. So it just depends.
10 years.
It depends from person to person what is found or not found.
The other thing that and again, we got to bring you back because there's so many medical ramifications. I think stress has a lot of bearing on our general health, correct?
Yes.
You have weight, you have obesity, you have stress, you have life issues. Hair loss, that's a pretty common situation with stress. Would you agree? And women are losing hair on the top of their heads and alopecia. Let's talk about that in terms of hair loss and follicle loss.
Okay, so hair loss can be hereditary. So if it's hereditary, it's not much that you can do for. I mean, there are things that you can do, but it's hereditary.
What about those treatments they suggest, the Hair Club of America? Is that true?
They have different types of treatment that can replace hair. So either they do hair transplants, and they have other apparatus. I'm not for sure.
Okay.
That's not my area of expertise. But there are various types of treatments and things that are out there. When you're having hair loss due to stress, and I see that, you have to deal with the stress, and that's one of the things, the beauty of naturopathic medicine. We are trained in counseling and things like that, so we can start that process. And if they need something more, we can always send them out to a therapist. And you can have hair loss because of the type of braids that we wear sometimes. So that tension, alopecia, and pull out from the follicles. And there are other types of autoimmune diseases that can cause hair loss.
See, and alopecia, as you probably know, there's areata alopecia, where you have some. It's like in a quarter size. The hair regenerates in 4 months with cortisone injections.
Correct.
But then you have the other one that you don't get the hair back, correct?
That's correct.
You lose your eyebrows too.
Right. And so we have to make sure as to, why is there hair loss? There's other conditions that can cause it, like hypothyroidism and things like that.
The thyroid. Yeah, wow. Now let's go back to some of the skin cancer piece, because what's the difference, let's say, with the majorities being the white folks compared to the black folks? We have less of a propensity to have skin cancer based on the color of our skin, or does it vary?
It varies. We can get skin cancer. So do not think just because we're African American, even if we're dark skinned, that we can get. You can still get skin cancer. So if you have any type of mold or growth that will not heal, or it continues to bleed, you need to go to the dermatologist to get that looked at and biopsied. All
right, so let's get back to your company. And name your company again?
All Things Natural Wellness Center.
Located where?
In Atlanta, Maryland, 9811 Greenbelt Road.
One more time.
9811 Greenbelt Road.
And I've been there, viewers, and it's a beautiful facility. She has a nice office. And tell them what's in your office.
Well, we have several. We have Dr. Stewart that's there. She is a naturopathic doctor and also an acupuncturist.
Oh, okay. What does acupuncture do?
Oh my gosh, acupuncture can be deal with pain. It can deal with anxiety.
And what is the technology? Is it actually small needles?
Needles, it could be cupping. It's various things
Cupping,
that you
I
can
know of cupping, yep.
that you can do with acupuncture.
So you have acupuncture there. What else do you have there?
We have Jade Therapy, which is using microcurrent and cold laser.
Oh, with a machine?
With a machine.
What does that do?
So we use it for sinus problems. We use it for hair growth.
Oh, wow.
We use it for pain. We use it for inflammation. We use it for full body detoxing.
You have your creams too. I've seen your cool creams in your office. Tell them about your creams you have in your office.
So I use, well, they're actually oils, essential oils.
Okay.
And essential oils have properties to them that come from plants. And so I may use something like lavender, which is an anti-anxiolytic or calms you down. Is a anxiolytic. So it calms down anxiety.
Anxiety.
But it's also a great anti-inflammatory. Frankincense as well. So we use different types of essential oils when we're treating patients.
And how's your pricing? So how do you do your pricing? Do you base it on the patient, the historical profile? How do you do your pricing?
So the pricing is, if they're coming in pay as they go, then they pay an hourly amount for an hour, hour and a half, however long that they're there. And then we also have something called the wellness program.
Okay.
So instead of paying everything up front, they can do it monthly or they can break it down.
Yeah, so it sounds like it's a fascinating facility that you practice. How long have you been in business?
Since 2014.
2014?
Yes.
Wow. And what do you have? Do you have some new initiatives you'll be going? I know you'll be doing, we have a panel discussion with you with the 100 Black Men in August, which thank you for volunteering your time.
Absolutely.
We're going to be talking about health and wellness. Do you have any other upcoming events we want to talk about as it relates to your business, your practice, or yourself? Or?
Well, we have that particular one.
Yep, in August.
We just recently was at the Bowie Senior Center, and they had a health fair there, so we were there. Nothing coming up into the summer.
The summer.
Thus far.
What's your long-term goal? Let's say from 5 years, because I always ask my guests, what do you want to be in 5 years? Do you want to have your own? Do you want to be doing on a speaking circuit? This is you and I have talked about this stuff. So what do you want to be doing in 5 years?
Well, in 5 years, I would like to be on a speaking circuit. I think it's so important for people to understand, especially in the African American community, to understand health and that they really have power in their hands when it comes to their health, and to be able to empower them to take control of their health. I think it's so needed, so needed. There is so many things that can be done just from a from a natural point of view, and dealt with, and to keep people healthy.
So you want to be an ambassador for health.
I guess you can call that.
And I think you do a good job with that in the next 5 years. You want to be on a speaking circuit?
Speaking circuit, and also I want to be able to grow the clinic so that we have different type of natural modalities. So men's health, so that's a specialty.
Yes,
yes. And I think it's so needed. And of course to have a massage or a masseuse special to come in as well. And
you have that now, or are you going to be planning to do that?
We're planning to bring that in.
That's excellent.
And other types of natural modalities that people can utilize to bring about holistic type of health.
Beautiful. Tell the viewers of a success story. I know you have several. One good success story where you had a patient that had some difficulties or health condition that you turned them around. Give us one or two.
I had someone that came in today.
Please. Yeah.
And she's an older woman, came in with right rib pain and shoulder pain, and she had low white blood cells. And so this was her third visit in. Okay. And her pain, 100% gone.
Nice.
And she really took hold of the wellness plan that was given to her for her diet, because they were pre-diabetic.
Pre-diabetic, so historical profile.
That's correct. And her white blood cells came up. And the low back pain that she had
subsided.
In addition, subsided. And so she is now taking control of her life. She's in about 70.
Beautiful. All right, we have 2 minutes. What would you like to talk about in these 2 minutes? What would be your elevator speech about what you do and why it's important to be healthy? 2 minutes.
2 minutes, okay. We
close out the
only
segment.
have a short time on this earth.
Oh my God, don't we?
And I think that we must do all that we can to take very good care of our health, and to have a good sound mind.
Ooh.
So as we grow older,
Yes.
we can think correctly and think, period, not have dementia.
Yeah.
And it is so important that we take so good care of our bodies.
Yeah, yeah. And what other suggestions, at what ages should we as African Americans, really, I mean, I know it's daily, but are there certain milestones in terms of age milestones should we focus on? Is it 30? Is it 40? What's the key areas?
Today. Today is the day that you start. It doesn't matter the age. Whether they're 2 years old, 2 months old, 200 years old.
Yeah.
It's now's the time to start.
Right, so we have a minute left here. I want to thank you for your time. You know, you've always been, on point for me. I appreciate you as a physician, and you are a clinical physician as far as I'm concerned. You're so professional. You do great work in the community. You do great work with your patients. And how many patients do you have, can we say?
Oh, gosh.
No, give me a guess.
Close to 600.
600 patients.
Yeah.
So just continue to lead from the front. You're awesome. We appreciate you. And on Kirkland's Corner, we have to get you back because there's so many things, dementia I want to talk about, other issues, hospice. There's so many medical implications, I think, as African Americans and even majorities, we don't really talk about. So we want to thank you. Thank you for your time. God bless you, and we really appreciate you. And this has been a great, great hour on health and wellness. I hope you've enjoyed this. I've enjoyed this. I've learned a lot. We will have her back. So next on our show, thanks again, we have Carlos Lancaster, owner, broker of Exit Right Realty. He's a good friend. He's always been supportive. Don't go away. Stay in that seat. Get some popcorn. Back on Kirkland's Corner.
One in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your favorite brother, your other brother, you, your football buddy, your football buddy, you, the boss's boss. If 1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes, that means it could be you, your barber, your barber's barber.
Nice work.
Thanks.
You, your plumber,
Breathe right into your foot.
your plumber's masseuse.
Yes.
You, your dog walker,
On your left.
your cat jogger. Or you, your co-pilot, your co-pilot's co-pilot. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org to know where you stand.
I got smart about saving for college. And now my daughter's off to a great start.
When it comes to your money, whatever you want to get smart about, you can find at smartaboutmoney.org.
We got smart about loans.
And sign here. Now it's our house. We're going home to.
I got smart about preparing for those unexpected challenges. Now I know at least my finances will be healthy.
Smart About Money is a free online resource. We are a non-commercial, non-profit organization dedicated to helping people just like you get information about money. For everything from how to build an emergency fund to how to deal with job uncertainty, smartaboutmoney.org has the answers you've been looking for.
I got smart about credit.
Would you like paper or plastic?
Now paper or plastic has a whole new meaning.
Smartaboutmoney.org, the easy place to start when you want to get smart about your finances.
Hi, I'm IC. For many former servicemen and women with post-traumatic stress and traumatic brain injury, the battle doesn't always end when they come home. American Humane rescues animals needing forever homes and trains them to become free, life-saving service dogs for veterans in need. If you're a veteran or know a veteran struggling, go to AmericanHumane.org to learn about their Pups for Patriots program. Let's give our veterans a fighting chance.
I'll be honest. Your resume, no one I'm used to.
I know.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need a hard worker.
Good. I've got 2 part-time jobs and to help my parents pay the bills.
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find, cultivate, and train a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
All right, we're back on Kirkland's Corner. Hope you enjoyed that first segment. Dr. Veda Johnson, man, you rocked it, man. But now, the man of the hour, the owner of Exit Right Realty. What's up, Carlos?
What's going on, Walter?
Carlos Lancaster. This man is a legend in the industry. How long have you been in the business?
I've been in real estate since 2002.
2002.
Yeah,
That's a couple weeks. That's a couple weeks.
So,
you might know what you're doing.
Oh, 17 years there.
I want to congratulate you because you have your family. Did your brother work with you?
Yes, me and my brother started the company.
That is amazing. So tell the viewers, because this is always a great story, success story. How did you get into real estate and why did you become a broker? Because you're a broker owner. And what made you do this?
Well, back in about 2002, I actually started real estate investing in 2001 with me and my brother, Corey Lancaster.
Buying properties?
Buying properties, renting them, flipping them. And then we still worked our CPA jobs at first. Then we decided.
You're CPAs?
So we're CPAs.
Didn't know that.
Accountants. Got to know the numbers.
I learned something.
If you want to be a successful entrepreneur, you got to know your numbers.
Absolutely.
But we knew that wasn't going to be the end-all, be-all. The way the economy was working out, no one stayed at a job for 30 years. So we had to decide what kind of business we wanted to get into.
Wow.
It's for entrepreneurship. So real estate, we got into it, we loved it, and it seemed like a natural thing because people got to live somewhere, right?
That's right. And they're not going to make any more land.
They're not making any more land. You know, we might be losing some with climate change, but that's another topic.
so it's in Laurel, Maryland.
In Laurel, Maryland.
And tell them about your practice in terms of your practice. Well, for your brokerage. How many?
Practice real estate.
Yeah. How many realtors do you have?
We have about 85 realtors.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, we're the largest in Laurel.
You're the largest in Laurel.
Yes.
And
it started with one. It was really two, me and my brother.
How did you do this?
Well, after successfully investing in real estate in 2005, we bought the franchise rights for Exit Right Realty.
2005, okay.
And we built the office in Laurel, did some renovations, and just got started. We didn't have a long pedigree in real estate, but it just goes to show, you know, when you're entrepreneurship and you have a committed goal of what you're trying to achieve, you can make it happen.
Yes, yes.
So, and I knew corporate America was not going to be my thing, so this seemed like the great move.
Yeah, and now do you specialize in residential, commercial? What do you specialize in?
We specialize mostly in residential.
Residential?
You know, we've done some churches and things of that nature, but our bread and butter is residential.
How has the real estate, because I've bought and sold property over the years, how's it changed? How's the landscape changed in the last, let's say, 5 years? Is it any different than it's been in the last 5 years?
Well, right now it's hot. You know, housing affordability is an issue that comes up nowadays. And I'll take it back even 10 years when we got through the Great Recession. We had a lot of people at home ownership was at an all-time high due to some predatory loans and things of that nature.
2007, 2008?
Yes.
Yep.
And then when the Great Recession hit, it was a lot of pain.
Yes.
And what we had to do as realtors is not just what people think they see on TV where it's opening doors. I mean, we basically became psychologists.
I bet you did.
You had to have people on the couch. I mean, because people in their families were in dire straits, and they were looking for leadership to help them out of a situation that they were in. And that could be foreclosure, short sales,
right. We talked
nature.
about this in the green room, Carlos. I know people that have walked away from their homes. Is that still happening?
Not as much anymore. The banks finally started getting their act together and started working with people because a foreclosed home doesn't do anyone any good. Doesn't do the families any good, doesn't do the bank any good, definitely doesn't do the neighborhood any good. And houses were meant to be lived in, not sitting around being blighted.
I agree. And you know, I love your discussion. You were talking to our other guests, I think Dr. Johnson, about rental versus ownership. Give the viewers of why it's important to own versus rent, especially in the African American community.
Yes, and it's important to own versus rent because if you look at a lot of different studies, it'll show that people's net worth If you look at any kind of graph and you see the net worth of someone who's just a renter against someone who's a homeowner, it's not even close on what their net worth is. And I tell people who rent, because I'm also a landlord and rent properties as well as an investor, I tell my tenants, you know, at some point you would want to buy. Some of them were hurt during the recession, especially in the minority communities who were hurt. They are having a hard time wanting to get back into the housing market. And they're getting left behind from that standpoint. Because with renting, you don't get any equity in the property, and rents can always go up on you.
That's true.
At least when you buy the property.
And what write-offs do you have as a renter? Do you have any write-offs?
Zero.
Oh, boy. And what do you have as an owner of property?
Well, as a homeowner, now the tax law changed in 2017. The write-offs aren't quite there what they used to be. But just picture this. When you own your property and you have a fixed loan, your rate never goes up.
Oh, hello.
Your mortgage is the same.
Hello.
And you start building equity in your house by making your monthly payments.
Yes, it goes down over time.
Yeah, no one says you can't put a little extra on it either.
That's true. Yeah, double
like
your payments.
Like a credit card.
Double
you
your
can
payments.
get rid of that 30-year mortgage even faster if you like.
Yeah, I think what we need to do, and you know, I'm the founder president Hunter Blackman, we have to kind of school our youth and our next generation on intergenerational wealth of the significance of owning property. And to you said, I like that equity position. I think we're oblivious to that. We live in this short-term, we were talking in agreement, a phone. We're not thinking about the long-term piece. Well, what are your thoughts on teaching or helping the next generation? Have you thought about that, of how you could focus on that or help the next generation?
Well, I talk to people all the time, especially I got 85 agents and families and clients, and I'm really open to talk to anyone who asks. I'm not on a circuit or charging fees to talk to people about it. But with my CPA background, I'm good with numbers. I'm big on financial literacy.
This does go with financial literacy.
I bought my first house when I was, God, how was I? 27, 29, something like that.
Good for you.
So I owned the house, and that started me being able to be an entrepreneur and start investing and buying my company off that first house.
Wow.
Now, I bought it at a good time in 2000 because the market started to go up. But I was able to leverage my house to get things that I couldn't have worked 1,000,000 hours to save enough money for.
Wow, wow. So let's get back to your business, because you right now, I mean, thank you for coming here, because I know you're going to some renovation or something. What's going on with your practice right now? You shouldn't even be here, right?
Well, renovation's going on right now because...
Why the renovations? What's going on?
Oh, we've been in the office for 14 years, and a couple years back, about 6, 7, we did some updates, and now it's time to renovate.
Good for you.
So now we're creating a larger training room so I can have 30 to 35 people in there and do a lot more events for the community to have them use that room as well.
Oh, by the way, you do a lot of good stuff for the community, so thank you for what you do. You always give back to the community, and I want to thank you personally for doing that.
No problem at all.
Why do you do that?
Well, one, it just makes sense. It's the right thing to do. But two, in real estate, we are part of the fabric of that community.
You are.
As a real estate agents, people have warped ideas about what we do because they watch a lot of TV and we're just, just salespeople.
Good for you.
But most realtors live in the communities they work in, and they care. Their families go to those schools. They care about those neighborhoods, and they want to make sure they're the best that they can be. So it's almost unfathomable not to want to give back to your neighborhood, not to give back to your community, not to give back for folks to help them out.
So I got some staggering numbers, and maybe this has changed. Predatory lending. Do you still find that that's occurring in these African American communities, the inner cities, compared to the majorities, where where there's red lighting? What's it called? Red, where you focus.
Oh yeah, redlining.
Redlining. Is that still happening, or is that not as much anymore?
Oh, I'm not a lender, so I really can't say
Okay.
as far as, but the predatory lending was a big issue in the Great Recession, and that was giving loans of people who really didn't qualify for loans.
I see.
Or giving someone with good credit scores and giving the higher interest rate loans.
Yeah.
It was very, I won't say it wasn't regulated, but it was kind of unregulated.
So that's changed now. The federal government has fixed that.
It has
Okay,
changed
good.
with the federal government and the private industry as well. Nobody wants to go through that ever again.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't good business for anybody at that point.
Yeah.
But what we want to do now is, even though we are seeing some relaxed standards,
Yes.
because typically what happens is when you get something like the Great Recession, they pull back hard the other way, when almost a dead person could get a loan. Well, once you go through an issue like that,
I know.
the government and everyone else seems to pull back the other way, like you need an 800 credit score to get a house.
I know.
Which is not true.
Which is insane, yeah.
And then it starts to relax a little bit over time. And so right now, with interest rates still being at historical low prices. I mean, 4% interest rates right now, and sometimes even less, is just great.
I hear it. That's amazing. Yeah. Now let's get back to your business because this is about you. So, are you looking to get realtors to come to your business?
Yes, we're always hiring.
And how might they join your organization, and what does it entail?
Well, to join our organization is, one, contact me, and they can pull out their phones.
Okay.
Oh, yes. There's no middleman in between.
And what's your phone number?
Well, what the best thing they can do is text me, even a text message.
Oh, wow, look at you.
And they can text Carlos Exit, all one word,
Carlos
to
Exit.
85377.
85377?
Yes, you do that, you get my digital business card. You can call me, text me, email me.
Awesome.
So download me into your phone, and I'm there.
And what's your website? Repeat it twice.
It's www.exitrightrealty.com. That's www.exitrightrealty.com.
Great.
I hope I want to show my age by saying www.
No, don't worry about that. You want to make it super simple for people. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty here. What differentiates, Exit Right Realty as compared to Keller Williams? What makes you guys different? Well, why should someone join your organization? And why should I sell my house with you?
They're a great company.
Come on,
There's a lot of good real estate companies out there. And so, but with Exit Right Realty, one, it's the right choice.
Oh, okay.
But two, it's fact of I keep my office between 85 and 100 agents so I can have that personal touch with my agents. It's not a whole lot of middle people in the middle. If a client has an issue, they can contact me.
Wow.
It's like a guarantee. I don't go hiding anywhere.
Wow.
So it's a personal touch. Even though we have all this technology and gizmos and things of that nature, real estate is still a people business.
Yes.
It's all about the people. I can find someone the right house if I understand that person. So that's why when we meet with clientele, we want to have a talk with them and a consultation like a doctor would.
So walk them through what happens. Let's say I have a listing. Walk the viewers of what would you guys do with your company.
Okay.
What's the process?
We'll go with buyers first because most majority of people want to buy. We encourage the buyers. Well, with buyers, what they want to do is contact your favorite realtor. Talk to them.
Exit Right Realty.
Exit Right Realty.
In Laurel, Maryland.
In Laurel, Maryland. And we're going to talk, we'll introduce them to lenders as well. They can get their own lenders, but we have some we work with as well. We have a long-standing relationships with. And we're going to go over that process with them about home inspections, appraisals, the stuff the TV shows they just kind of gloss over.
They gloss over.
Because a lot of times the TV shows, they never sign any paperwork. And we have a lot of paperwork, but luckily a lot of it is digital as well.
I see.
But we want to get a feel for our client. Do they want to be communicated through technology as far as texting?
Communications,
or do I need to talk to you face to face? Depends on the client, and we're here to serve.
Right.
So as a realtor, when you're picking a realtor, you want to make sure communication is there.
What's your rule of thumb with your realtors? How often, do they get back in 24 hours? Do you have a
24 hours, not in today's time.
Oh, wow. So
clients want answers now.
Within an hour?
Within an hour, 2 hours, especially by text and things of that nature.
I see.
Yes, we try our best. I mean, if we're with another client, we're not going to be able to take the call or text of that other client because we have to take care of the people who are right that minute. But a lot of times that comes in the consultation meeting to go over how they want to be communicated
Expectations.
with. Because some agents, some clients, we still do handwritten signatures for their contracts. They don't want the digital stuff. So we have to alter to what our clients' needs are. That's what a realtor does. We serve.
Good point. So you have accessibility. What I'm hearing is accessibility. I hear responsiveness.
Yes.
You said 1 or 2 hours. That's amazing. And how do you measure that? How do you know that's happening?
How do you know it's happening? Because if I don't, I'm the broker. I get all the phone calls. That number and contact information I just gave, all my agents' clients have my information. So if my agents aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing, who do you think is going to hear it? But that's a great way for me to police my agents.
Yeah, that's great. Now, what about, you said the buyer, what about the seller side?
Well, the seller side, typically, obviously, they've already bought a home before, so they're somewhat knowledgeable.
In the process.
But in the selling side, we have to go ahead and educate them on the pricing. Because everybody wants to sell their house for $1 million.
Oh boy, yeah.
And everyone thinks their house is better than their neighbors. Like they got the gold-plated nails in their walls. You know, it's just things like that.
That's right.
So we have to go and educate them with the facts.
Which is what? You would do analysis of properties that sold and
we call those comps, comparables, or market analysis, yes. We go through and show them the facts of what's going on. As a good realtor is just not going to be a yes man to their client. We're professionals. It's like your doctor wouldn't just say whatever you want them to say.
That's true.
They're going to say, no, these are the facts of the matter. I'm going to give you some hard truths, and then they have to make a decision of what they want to do. We don't make their decision for them, but our job, our duty is to give them the facts of the matter so they can make that great decision.
So what if you have, and I know this happens, Carlos, all the time, what if you have a buyer who for some reason from a different region wants to inflate the price, and you can't come to a, do you compromise, or you just go for the higher price?
No, we negotiate.
You still negotiate?
We always negotiate.
I see.
That's what a good realtor does as well. We negotiate.
Right.
And we try to supplant those negotiations with facts for both parties. Because typically in a transaction, you have two agents. And the agents are going to have to negotiate. And while they're trying to do the best for each other's clients, if they're good, they're going to give their clients proper expectations.
That's so true.
And we're going to try. No one really gets 100% of what they want, but we can come to a compromise and get everybody most of what they want. Then everybody walks away winners.
How do you deal with these, not no name, but you know, these companies that are offering 1%? How do you deal with?
Well,
what company is that? The 1%? What company is that?
Well, I won't name any companies like that.
Is it 1%
things of that nature? Well, you have companies with varying fee structures.
But it's 2%, 1%.
Yes, but again, we'll use the analogy of a doctor. Are you going for the cheapest doctor when you go to a medical?
Do you think they lessen their services?
Well, they'll have to, because well, just think of your job. If you took a third less or 2/3 less, would you provide the same service?
Interesting.
Because we have to not only we have to charge a fee for our services to provide our office and supplies and things of that nature. We have to re-educate ourselves to stay on, because everything's moving fast nowadays.
I know.
We have to stay on top of technology. We have to get our continual education credits so we can make sure we're staying up to date with what's going on in the industry.
Okay.
So, and we have a lot of tools that people think are free, but we actually pay for.
You pay for? Oh, yes. So
Realtors
you're saying someone has to absorb those costs.
Yes,
those
MLS,
costs.
you know, companies like Zillow, they get their information from their MLS, which people think is free, but actually realtors pay for that, so those systems.
Wow, wow. Now let's get back to the realtor side. So if someone wants to join your organization, they have to pass what you have a class that you offer, or you
for the state of Maryland, because I'm licensed in Maryland, D.C., and Virginia.
You offer a class.
But for the state of Maryland, they need to do 60 hours of pre-licensing.
60 hours.
Mm-hmm. And they would do that, and then once they test out of that course, they'd have to set up for a national and a state exam.
I see.
Once they pass those exams, they're open now to affiliate with a real estate company, such as Exit Right Realty.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So that's the process.
And so you're looking for folks now?
Always looking for folks.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. So I mentioned to Veda Johnson earlier, next 5 years, where does Carlos Lancaster want to be? What do you see your company, your organization, your footprint? I mean, you got 85 agents. 5 years, where do you want to be?
Well, now, 10 months ago, I became a new daddy. So
congratulations.
That changed a lot of my 5-year plan for the better.
10 months,
because
wow.
It gives you another why of why you do what you do.
Yes.
Because before I used to call my agents, they were my children.
Yeah.
All 85 of them.
This is your first child, too.
It's my first child.
Oh, man, congratulations.
Oh, thank
That's
you,
awesome.
thank you. So it's changed the dynamics a little bit of my 5-year plan.
Status quo, keep where you are, or you want to expand?
Well, you always want to grow, because if you're not growing, you always seem to be losing a little bit. You know, so if you're not growing, you're dying. So it's like, and I don't use the word dying, that's like a negative term, but you want to always keep growing and evolving.
Yes.
So to do that, you have to stay, because we have a lot of competitors in our industry.
You are, and you're retooling right now with the renovations.
With the
and
renovations,
I commend you on, your retooling, and it's so critical to retool. In Laurel, a lot of viewers probably may not know, it's a very progressive town. There's a lot of expansion. There's a relatively new shopping center that
Yep, the Laurel Town Center. The old mall there, they demolished that and put a mixed-use town center there. So it's an apartment building right next to it, and it's mixed use. That's like the trend around the country now.
Yeah, and is your office open 7 days a week?
We are open. Office open 6 days a week.
Okay.
Give my
Close
exception
on
at
Sunday?
7 on Sunday, but agents are there 24/7. So typically, like when we have holidays, 4th of July, we tell the agents the office is closed. But what that normally means is there's just no staff available. But agents will still be in there 24/7 doing what they have to do. I have agents that be there 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, because they're doing what it takes to get the job done for their clients.
Wow, wow. And in your physical new office, you'll have what? What does it look like? You'll have you have a training room. What's it look like with the new construction?
The new way it is, training rooms are a big thing now as far as what help support the agents. Because what we used to support agents 10, 15 years ago is a little bit different today.
Yes, it is. How is it different?
Well, a lot of people are working. They don't come to the office that much. And when they do, they want to come and get information and then
they're working more remote.
They're working remotely. So you have to have the technology to be able to touch your agents.
Do you do video conferencing, Zoom, stuff like that?
We do video conferencing, Zoom, GoToMeeting, things of that nature. And sometimes, quite frankly, I talk to some of my agents just by phone. I communicate with them through text messages, phone calls. They got a problem, they know how to get to me quickly. Because in today's time as a broker, I can't wait 24 hours to get back to an agent who's got issues. I mean, after the show, I'll be on a phone call counseling one of my agents.
And you know, sometimes, as you know, Carlos, it's like herding cats and, you know, and children, you know.
Yes, they are independent contractors.
You know what I mean? Yeah. What are some of the good and bad situations with this business? I mean, I know it's tough because you're the driver of this. What's the good and bad of this business?
It's a people business. So when people think, especially now we get a lot of Wall Street money behind some of these brokerage companies, and they think an algorithm will solve all the problems. Real estate is a people business. I never seen someone crying about a house because things got delayed a little bit. I haven't seen them hug a computer yet. They need a person to hug. And sometimes that's what an agent has to do.
That's deep. That's profound because we get so caught up in these devices and computers.
Yes.
But you're saying it's a personal touch that never goes away regardless of this.
You must have a personal touch. Sometimes you'll talk to agents who've been around for 20 or 30 years and they'll use some technology, but they meet their clients face to face. They do not rely on that technology because people are unique, just like the houses they buy are unique and their needs and wants are unique. So I need to understand, and sometimes I can't understand over the phone someone's body language, their tonality.
Yeah, that's true.
I need to have a face-to-face conversation so I can see what's going on.
Give the viewers a success story. Either you or one of your agents with Exit Right Realty, the Benchmark Realty.
Oh, I'll use a pretty good story.
I'd love to hear a good story.
A few years ago, one of my buddies, and I don't sell anymore. I basically manage the office.
You manage the office.
But when my agents
You're the Grand Poobah.
Well, I also got the bullseye on my head.
You know what?
I get all the issues.
When you're in charge, that's right.
That's it. And I get
Good
the bullseye.
Good, bad, and ugly.
And that's okay. I'm built for it.
You are. You're doing a great job. Give us a great story.
I had one of my friends, and they weren't able to close on time. They had some lending things, and so he never bought a house before. And he was freaking out, and he was like, I'm not sure what's going on. I said, it's going to be okay. We're going to get you there. So anyway, he was ready to back out of this deal probably a week or two before getting there. I was like, it's not in your best interest. You already got this money down. You did inspections, the whole nine. I said, look, man, what are you going to do? You want to rent forever? You have a family. You got kids. It's going to be nothing to have a house. So anyway, what I did for this one, I took him to a bar during happy hour.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
Go ahead. Old school negotiations.
They had questions.
Carlos.
They were scared.
That's
so
what I'm
I had to
talking
believe
about.
it. So I brought in a few of their friends who had recently bought homes. And they told their horror stories about what they had to go through. Because I had another client, which happened to be my wife now, but she had a seller that passed away 2 weeks before settlement.
Oh my goodness.
So, and he was like, really?
Talk about a compelling event.
Really? Yeah, so when he heard everyone else's story, but they still got their property, they felt a whole lot better. A couple of drinks probably helped to go down a little bit too, and some appetizers.
That's awesome.
But I mess with him all the time by now. He's got his man cave doing, always having parties, fight parties.
He's loving it.
I'm like, so you couldn't have done all this in an apartment, could you?
So as we close out the segment, we have roughly 2 minutes. Why is real estate so exciting?
Because it's never the same.
It's never
Every day I wake up, I don't know what's going to be on the other end of that phone call, text message, or email.
Wow.
But it keeps you alive and it keeps you on your toes.
Keeps you alive. I love it. Love it. So what you're saying, Carlos, is when you have passion for something, it's not work, right?
It's not work.
And I always see you. You're always positive. Even with a new child, you just keep it moving. What are some parting words you want to close out the segment about real estate, about your company, about what's happening with your company?
Well, it's just that we're going to keep moving forward.
Okay.
I got great people working with me at X-Ray Realty. There's 85 agents.
Including your brother?
Yes. Oh, he's the best.
Who, by the way, he sold my house years ago.
Yes, he did.
In a very difficult time.
Yep.
And he's awesome.
He's awesome. He's the best. I think he did over $30 million last year in sales.
$30 million in sales?
He was second ranked at our PG Car.
Are you kidding me?
Awards. Yes. He's got a team.
Okay.
Not bad for a couple of ex-CPAs, huh?
Right. Wow.
Who says CPAs can't be perfect?
Well, congratulations on your success in Laurel, Maryland, Exit Right Realty, and it's good to see brothers like you, and no pun intended, you and your brother, but you're just a man about your family. You're a man about the community. You give back to the community, the 100 Black Men, other organizations, and I want to commend you on what you do, Carlos. You're just a great thought leader, and leading from the front is critical. So I want to thank you for your time, and just keep up the great work. And we really appreciate you in Kirkland's Corner. It's great to have the movers and shakers in the county involved. So thank you so much, man.
I appreciate it.
All right. So I want to say thank you. This is Kirkland's Corner. We had 2 dynamic guests. We had Dr. Veda Johnson about all that stuff with the body. Oh my God, I got some more questions I want to ask her. And then, my man over here, Carlos Lancaster with Exit Right Realty. So, we try to bring information that's informative. We try to change the fabric of the economy. And also in beautiful Prince George's County, by the way, which was named by a prince, you probably knew that. There's so much happening in this county. So we want to thank all the people we serve in our community. And each day when you work, you got to work hard. Your day is over. Reflect back and ask yourself, did you inspire someone? Because that's what the mantra is on Kirkland's Corner. Did you inspire someone? And please send all your comments or questions and suggestions to www.dbanaleeav.com, thebanaleeav.com, or go to Kirkland's Corner on YouTube to check out these shows. Again, thank you, Carlos. Thank you, Dr. Veda. This is Walt Kirkland. Till the next time, we'll see you. Have a great week. Have a great time. And this is Walt Kirkland. Bye for now. Talk to you soon.
That tobacco and drinking alcohol can increase your risk of developing oral or throat cancer. But the fastest growing cause of these cancers is the HPV virus, or the human papillomavirus. In fact, if you have HPV, you are 30 times more likely to get oral cancer. That's why everyone should perform an oral cancer self-exam each month. If you find anything unusual, see your general dentist or an oral and facial surgeon as soon as possible.
Ovarian cancer is devastating and difficult to diagnose. It's often only caught in advanced stages, and 4 out of 5 women will see the deadly disease return.
I knew when ovarian cancer recurs,
it's often incurable.
It was terrifying, waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Until recently, following chemotherapy, women with recurrent ovarian cancer had to simply watch and wait for their disease to come back.
Well, we say,
not on my watch.
Not on my watch.
Not on my watch. Now, with maintenance therapies, women can extend their time in response and delay recurrence.
Knowledge and awareness of your choices empowers you
and gives you a greater sense of control.
Let's call for a change in ovarian cancer care.
The Not On My Watch movement empowers women facing recurrent ovarian cancer to take an informed and active role in managing their disease. Visit notonmywatch.com to learn more.
Sometimes the things we do or say can make others feel hurt, excluded, or isolated. Everything you say and do creates an impact.
How am I supposed to save the whole world?
You can't think about saving the world. You have to think about saving one person.
Because of you, someone's entire life can change. You don't have to be a superhero to have a positive impact.
Friends?
Friends. What does it look like when a life is truly changed?
I feel a sense of accomplishment because I built a house. This house has brought us financial independence.
It's a great place to raise a family.
Strength, fuerza. When I look back where we've come from to where we are today, it makes my heart very happy.
Potential.
Potencia.
For me, this house means all of us together. Sorry. Together.
Security.
Security.
Every family dreams to have their own house. This house changed our lives.
Habitat for Humanity is at work in your community and around the world. Through shelter, we empower.